So last time we wrapped up chapter 2, and so far, let me just give a brief summary of what we have done so far and where are we heading, inshallah, for the next chapter 3. So far, what we covered, we started with the chapter 1, right? And we started with the basics of being able to describe events. And because of that, we said that events are subsets of the sample space, and we need them to do some set theory. And we talk about set theory, the different operations. And then we define probability, actions, and we defined events. And from here, basically, we started to talk about random experiments with what is the sample space, which is basically the collection of all the samples, and what are the different events and the relationship between events, the independent events, the mutually exclusive events, and how can we find the probability and identify a relative frequency, concept of the relative frequency. And then we talked about combined experiments, I recall, and counting methods, right? And we said that in order to be able to find the probability, again, in a combined experiment, so basically you repeat the experiment 100 times, for example, you cannot keep counting by your hand, so you need some counting method. And we talked about the permutation, the combinations, and others. And almost this is basically what we did in chapter 1. And then after that, in chapter 2, we started to say, okay, now instead of us being able to get away from the behavioral sample space, let's describe the sample space in the real life. And here we define what we call the concept of random variable. We said that, okay, the random variable will cast all the details of the sample space into the real life. Okay, instead of keep telling the events, the description of the events, we will start talking about x equal to 5 and 7. So basically, this changes our setup in chapter 1 from talking about events in language, English language, into talking about mathematical expressions, or basically the real life. The probability that a random variable x lies within certain material numbers. And then we talked about, okay, random variables, we need to describe them. We talked about CDF, PDF. And we said that, okay, the CDF describes for us how the accumulation of the probability from 0 to 1 and 6 moves increases, and the PDF, how the total probability of 1 is distributed among different variables. And then we talked about different random variables. PDF is probability density function. It can be set of deltas, it can be continuous, depending on whether it's discrete or continuous. And then we talked about the Gaussian random variable, and others, binomial, and so many others. The exponential, the Rayleigh, the Poisson, and so on. And we ended up the chapter with the conditional. When we want to describe the random variable, however, with conditions. So the conditional PDF and CD. And we talked about point conditioning and interval. And basically, this was the end of chapter 2. Now, chapter 3 will be about operations of random variables. Now, if you have a random variable, you need to operation. And I'm not interested in the voltage. I'm interested in the power. So the power related to the voltage to what? Square, right? P of R divided by R. I think inside R square. It's basically the square of the voltage. So now, if I have the voltage is random and I know the statistics, I know the CF of the random voltage, how can I understand the statistics of the power? So this is a function of random values. So basically, here we talk about function of random values. Same thing for the average. Finding the average of random value. Oh, there are different parameters that the random variable can be described by. House with random variable around جميل صح؟ هل هو عريض بعيد عن اليمين ولا انتشر أمام اليمين ولا كل الريزلتس focus around the mean. Now, how can we find the limits? The average and others. We talk about other what we call moments. I mean moments. So basically, all these lie within chapter 3. So chapter 3 will look like the following. First of all, we'll introduce the concept of averaging or the average, and then we will generalize it into what we call expectation. We will define what expectation means, and then we'll expand it into moments. نستخدم كلمة الاكسبكتيشن هذه defining the moments. We'll talk about it, and then some functions that give us the moments in an easy way. هنشوف the moments, calculating the moments is not easy. So there are some functions that calculate the moments for us in an easier way. And then the transformation of the random variable, y equals ax, for example, square, let's see. Okay, now y is a random variable, x is a random variable. I know the statistics of x, I know the PDF and CDF. What are the PDF and CDF of y? My interest. Okay, and some, and basically the last one is basically kind of option. طيب شباب واضح وين ماشيين احنا؟ So chapter 3 will be about understanding random values. فهمناه عرفنا في different random values. Now let's talk about functions of random values. Okay, functions of random values and expectation of random values. This is basically our topics. أي سؤال before we move this? That's the question and not related to what I'm saying. But anyway, the major will be up to the end of expectation, 3.1. Okay. So 3.1 is included, this chapter 3 is not included. Yeah, by the way, always make remind me about major way, we basically, there was some misleading, I would say, in the syllabus. Major one is a short, because we have it very early, we planned it a little bit later, but because of the common exams and so on, we had it very early, and because of that, we couldn't cover chapter 3. All the sections, not all sections. And because of that, all the instructors decided to have exam 1 15% and exam 2 will be 20%. For you, it doesn't change anything. It's only a matter of us, because the material in chapter 2 will be larger than it. And to give you a visit, we will give it to you. I will write it in the group, and I will post it with my syllabus. And this is accepted for all of us. So exam number 1, instead of having 20, and exam 2, 15, to be clear. Exam number 1, 15%, exam number 2, 20%. Okay? So an exam would be, as we agreed before, in building 6, 125, and to be 70 at least. Up to this section. Thanks, man. Any question before we take off? Type expectation operator looks like this. We read this as expected value of x. So this we read it as expected value of whatever inside. What is inside? Now we'll start with x, later we'll define it as others of x. Okay, expected value of x is what we call the average. Let's see how we calculate it, and then we'll have examples. So expected value of x, e between two brackets, as you can see, brackets, not parentheses. X in between is the random variable, and we give it the notation of x bar. X bar again is denotes the average, which is, if we look at it from, for continuous random variable, it's the PDF multiplied by whatever inside here. So whatever inside here, we put it next to the PDF, and we multiply and integrate. This is for continuous random variable. For discrete random variable, which is easier, as we will see now in a minute, how to find it. It's basically whatever inside here, xi multiplied by the probability of xi, and sum over all values. Let's have it for discrete because it's easier to Now, if you have exam, because exam scores, كلكم خبرة how to find the average, right? كيف الافرج حق الاكزام؟ تمام. خلينا نقول انه 5 طلاب جابوا درجة 80 students score and 10 جابوا 70. أنا سهلها بس 15 جابوا كم؟ 60. بعدين 12 جابوا كم؟ 50. بعدين 8 جابوا كم شباب؟ بعدين 2 جابوا 40. Okay. Now we'd like to see find the average. How to find the average? The average of your exam. كم؟ Summation of scores of students. But I don't have a summation of students. I have number of students who got certain scores. اجمع كله. So basically تقولوا انتوا ايش؟ اطرح 5 في كم؟ 80 صح؟ زائد 10 هي 70 زائد كم؟ 15 في 60 صح؟ على تقسيم كم؟ عددهم. summation of كم؟ 5 كم يا شباب؟ 5 ماشي ساعدوني زائد 10 15 12 8 صح؟ هذا اللي سويناه. طيب الآن إذا بنفكك هذه الآن بس عشان نشوف تتكون من إيش؟ تتكون من كم؟ 5 تقسيم المجموع اللي هو كم المجموع؟ 52 طيب multiplied by كم؟ 80 صح؟ زائد 10 تقسيم 52 multiplied by 70 زائد 10 تقسيم 52 multiplied by 15 سوري 15 تقسيم 52 multiplied by 60 زائد كذا كذا صح؟ ايش هذه؟ probability صح؟ من الكونسبت اوف relative frequency لبروبابيلتي الشباب اللي جابوا 50 خلينا نقول probability اللي جابوا 80 كم؟ 5 تقسيم 52 صح ولا لا؟ هذا تقسيم العدد الثاني. probability حق اللي تحتهم 10 كم؟ اللي جابوا 70 كم؟ 10 تقسيم 52 وهكذا 15 تقسيم 52 12 تقسيم 52. right? So eventually average صح اني انا حسبته شغل الثانويه بالطريقه هذه اللي هو اجمع كل السكورز تقسيم مجموع الطلاب صح؟ هو لما احللها زياده هي عباره عن كل سكور multiplied by weighted by البروبابيلتي اللي حصلت فيها السكور probability هذا السكور happened 5 over 52 times or the probability 70 happened 10 over 52 60 happened with a probability 15 over 52 it's more frequent صح and so on. So basically this is eventually ايش لما اكتبها عباره عن ايش summation from I equal 1 to n صح of xi اللي هي الدرجات multiplied by probability of x equal صح؟ شباب isn't this what you have done؟ أول كنا نسويها بطريقة خلينا نقول ما هي mathematically ما هي محللة زيادة بالطريقة المفروضة هذه الآن حللناها هذه هي نفس الفكرة. The expectation نسميها expected value. ايش يعني expected value؟ انا عندي random value بتتغير بطريقه معينه. expected value هي ايش؟ الفاليو المتوقع. اوكي؟ او الافريج. expected value or the average equals the summation of all scores multiplied by every score multiplied by all values of x multiplied by probability that every value happens. Now if I take this, cast it on the continuous part, the continuous London variable, it will be similar like بدل summation تعرف continuous عبارة عن limit when this basically goes into very small خلينا نقول number of values of x becomes infinitely many. So basically this becomes the integral summation replaced by integration x multiplied by f. اسهل تفهموها من ناحيه من الديسكريت. Once you get it to the discrete, once you are convinced and this is the way, then generalizing it to the continuous system. One functional is my expectation and why it means the average. فمن يوم وطالع احنا عندنا expected value of x, we write it this way, which is equal to x bar. X bar is the average. The way we calculate it is this way. طبعا for symmetric PDF, symmetric ايش معناها؟ ايش symmetric معناها؟ It's basically yes, right side equal to this side. It's like something split into two symmetric parts. In this case, the left side equal to right side, which in this case, expected value of x equals the center. Value. Okay. And هنا A, this is the center. Any question? So now if you have any random value, you should be able to calculate the expected value. Let's have an example. We had one example, who scores. Have another example. The coins in a pocket. So we have here different people around the room. كل واحد عنده certain number of cents. 8 people had 18 cents in their pockets. 12 people had 45. 28 people had 64. 22 had 72, and so on. Now we would like to find what is the average number of cents in a bucket. Okay. The average number of cents is basically the average number of dollars. So it's basically how many cents in dollar, which is 0.18. 18 is 0.18 multiplied by number of people having 18 cents divided by the total. Come the total. It's E, no? It's E. Total 90. Total 90. 90 is it. Okay, so basically same thing, 45 cents, which is 0.45, multiplied by 12 people over the total, 90, and so on. So the number of cents or the number of dollars multiplied by the fraction of people having that much dollars. Number of dollars multiplying by how the fraction of people having this number, amount of dollars, and so on. And the result will be like, for example, 0.60. Let's look at the disclosure resolution. The way you did it in high school, كيف كانت؟ كنت تجمع عدد الفلوس صح؟ بس تضرب هذه في هذه زائد هذه في هذه زائد هذه زائد هذه تجمعها بعدين divide by total number of people. The same two approaches. لكن هنا الفكرة هنا قسمناها كده every value that x takes multiplied by the probability that time. Now, here,
it's the exact value, but there is no one that has this amount. 163.
Nobody. It's the average. This is the average of money carried by the people in this class. The average value مو معناه انه في واحد منكم عنده هذا الرقم. هذا الافريج. نفس الشيء السكورز. Scores, if you calculate it ممكن يطلع 57. ممكن ولا واحد من الكلاس ماخذ 57 ونص. ممكن واحد جايب 58، ممكن الثاني جايب اللي تحت جايب 56 ونص. ممكن ولا واحد فيكم جايب الافرج بالضبط، لكن اتس افرج. المعدل. طيب يا شباب. Now we had two examples in discrete. Let's have one on continuous. Now we have the exponential. Exponential here. ذكر exponential هذا PDF شكلها ثاني. PDF that starts from B from A sorry from كذا goes down. ذكرها f x of x. And what is this value? 1 over 3 exactly. وتكلمنا انه as A changes the location of where does the exponential PDF starts, location, and B describes the speed of how fast it decays. And analytically, it looks like this. Now we are interested in finding the expected value, the average value. طيب هذه الآن احنا قلنا انه معظم ال PDF lies here, right? معظم البروبابيلتي الثقل كله جاي هنا. وتكلمنا ذيك المرة في one of the examples we found the probability that X, the random variable, is this than certain number, the average, basically. ولقينا أنها أكبر من نص, because this is not symmetric. You can see that it's clearly focused at small number, right? At numbers closer to A. Now let's find what the average is. So in order to find the average, we write the expected value of X. And basically this is equal to, by law, it's minus infinity to infinity, X fx x dx, right? Now we write X is here, and the rest is what? Fx of x dx. So we have X multiplied by exponential. How to solve it? By bar, right? You find it by bar. Up to here, this is 15, the rest is variance. So you know how to solve it by bar. You get basically two integrals, you find them, and the rest will be, so the final answer will be A plus B. So the average here looks like the average value is A plus B here, somewhere A plus B. Okay. كانت B لو طلع لك رقم وانت تحسب اقل من A ممكن؟ هل هذا معقول يا شباب؟ طلع لك رقم اقل من A وانت تحسب. Is this possible? No, because the average of the random variable should be somewhere within the range of the random variable. Okay? Another example. Now we have another example or a function of random variable. Before we go there, خلينا نتكلم عن لما يكون عندي مثلا uniform distribution between 5 and 8. كم هذه الفاليو شباب؟ كم الفاليو هذه؟ 1 over كم؟ 3. أعطيني رقم 1 over 3 because 8 minus 5 is and the area under the curve. Now what is the average here? What is the expected value of this? What is the expected value of this? 6.5, huh? Why? It's the midpoint. First of all, this is symmetric, right? This is the midpoint, which is 6.5, and you can see that it's symmetric here, equal here. If you say that it's symmetric, then the average is the midpoint. However, if you want to calculate it, you calculate it. It's x multiplied by 1 over 3, integrate from 5 to 8, dx. If you integrate x, what do you get? X squared, so it's 1/3 x squared from 5 to 8. So it's squared over 2. So we have 1 over 6, come. 8 squared is come. 64 minus 10. 25. So what do we have here? 64 minus 24, 25 كم شباب؟ Yeah? 39. Divided by 6, which should give you 6 points. It is 36 divided by 6 is 6. 39 is 2. Fantastic. And now if we have a function of random variable, like the following. An example, for example, before so we have a random variable x, and they have y, which is g of x. Voltage and power. This is a typical example, an electrical engineering. مثلا temperature, you are measuring the temperature in Celsius. لما تروح في أمريكا temperature كام؟ we would like to be able to just get from Celsius to فهمنا إذا عندك distribution PDF CDF الكلام هذا كله في Celsius go فهمنا فهناك كانت لينير في الباور not linear square okay and so on. مثلا عندك certain function and you like to plot it in logarithmic scale. Logarithmic is scale 20 log الx صح ولا لا؟ You need to be able to find what are the new statistics. So an example here, y equal g of x, which is x squared, you will power. And we assume that we have x can take three values, 0, -1, and 1. So we have a random variable that takes three values. وكلهم equally likely. 1 equal 1. Probability of x equal -1 equal probability x equal 1. 1 equals probability x equals 0, which is 1/3. In this case, what are the values that y can take? X, y, and the probability of y. xi, yi, probability of yi. That's right. What is x? What are the values of xi? -1, 1, and 0. What are the What are the values of corresponding values of y? Y is x squared, right? So it's 1, 0, 1. What is the probability of yi? What are the values of y here? We have only two values, right? Right? What is the probability of y equals 0? هذا الإيفنت بس عشان دائما go back to the event. This is equal to the probability that x equals 0, صح? Which is 1/3. What about the probability that y equals 1? 2 of the y, because this happens in two mutually exclusive events, right? It's the probability that x equals -1, right? X equal -1 plus, why is it plus, Ishbab? Why is it plus? Let's go multiply. Because they are mutually, x cannot be -1 and 1 at the same time. They are mutually exclusive. And because of that, this is 1/3 plus 1/3, which is, okay? So in this case, what is the average of x? Can tell expected value of x. How to find expected value of x? تمام. احنا قلنا expected value of x is summation دائما تذكروها I equal 1 to n xi very simple multiply by the probability of xi. So يلا اعطونا what is the expected value of x? Which is x bar. 0. Why is it 0? Because it's symmetric, right? هذا يحصل third of the time, third of the time, third of the time. It's symmetric. It's clearly, it looks like this. The PDF of x. It's one spike here, one delta here, one delta here, one delta here. So -1, 0, 1. Is this symmetric? And because of that, we have 0. So basically, it's 0 multiplied by 1/3, sorry, plus -1 over 3. Plus 1 over 3, which is 0. So what about y bar? نفس الشيء نسوي. I equal 1 to n of yi, probability of yi, صح? الآن you can calculate it using the table we have, صح? What is yi? It's 1 with the probability count 2 over 3, so 2 over 3. Plus 0 with probability. طيب هذا إذا أنا مشيت في كمية الشغل اللي هنا مثلا أنا not interested in doing 2 orders. أنا أبغى shortcut. What is this? What is y? So this is the new thing that you will learn here. What is y, Ishmael? What is y? xi term square multiplied by probability of xi square, right? Right? So what is the probability of xi squared? Isn't the probability of xi? But it's sorry. It's the probability of looks like this. Whatever inside here. So خلينا نكتبها بالطريقة هذه. هذه y كانت عبارة عن ايش؟ Expected value of x squared. Right? X squared. So whatever, either I take it from here and I put it y and I need to find what are the values of y. أو لا أنا أكتب بدل expected value of y أكتب expected value of y x squared and whatever inside here I just take. هذه الطريقة أطول لأنك you need to طبعا هنا الآن it's very simple calculation لكن I can give you a random variable that requires some calculations. Either you go through this table and find the new values of y and the quality of y's, or you just replace x squared by x squared and do it. Now let's find out, does this happen? Does this work or not? What are the values of xi squared? It's minus 1 squared, صح? Multiplied by 1 over 3. Plus 0 squared, isn't it? Multiplied by 1 over 3. Plus 1 squared multiplied by 1 over 3. أعطونا هذا يساوي نفس الكلام ولا لا؟ كم؟ هذا كم كان؟ 2 over 3 وهذا 2 over 3. This equals this. Two different approaches. The second is easier. So in general, واضحة شباب ايش يسمونها هنا؟ In general, if I have a function of random variable, I want to find the average of that function. And عندي voltage, or I'm interested in the power. And I want the average power. ما يهتم بتفاصيل الديستريبيوشن PDF و CDF حق الباور. بس هذا الأفريج. So I just write expected value of g of x, and I calculate it using replacing x by g of x, fx, and integrate. In the discrete, I just write g of x, replace it for every xi, and multiply by it. هذا اللي سويناه بالضبط. تفضل. لو غيرنا الفانكشن. لأنه احنا كل summation كل جزء هنا كل جزئية هنا is for xi. So every time xi is weighted by the probability that xi happens. أنا إيش أحط بدل xi square, xi cube, depending on the function اللي أنا كان فيه. لكن آخر شيء هذا متى كم يحصل في كم الفريكونسي حقه؟ the frequency of xi. واضحة؟ تفضل.
يعني وابد حتى
اللي قبل شوي example.
مثلا
It's 1 multiplied by 2/3 plus 0, it's 2/3. هذا حليناه بالطريقة اللي وجدنا. Basically, we found what y and what is the PDF of y and so on. هنا لا, we didn't find what is the PDF of y. We just replaced y by x squared, xi squared, and then we just run this. It gave us the same answer. واضحة؟ بس هنا, why is it shortcut? Because I didn't need to go through the method of finding the details of y, the values of y and the probability of y. تفضل.
إذا كانت ال x واحد من x تساوي 2 ما ينفع أقول probability x square هي نفس x.
ما ينفع again.
إذا كان
إيه خلينا نقول
x is equal to 2 يعني زيادة
واحدة مثلا 2 happens here. So what is the value of y here? Could be
0.
yeah 4. X squared. Y equals x squared. So if you have 2 here, it will be 4. So in this case, in the summation here, you will have another term which is 2 multiplied by, it happens مثلا كم لقوية حقيقة. واضح. واضح شباب؟ شباب. نفس الشيء شباب. X cube يعني it's the same concept. يعني خلينا ناخذ X cube. Your friend is saying okay, what about X cube? It's the same concept. الفرق يفرق يعني خلينا ناخذ expected value of X cube. What is the expected value of X cube? It's summation I equal 1 to n xi, sorry, 1 xi cube over to xi. طيب what are cubes? What are هنبدا الكويس بعد شوي. What are the xi's؟ يلا. minus 1 to the power 3 1/3 صح؟ 0 to the power 3 1/3 and 1 to the power 3 1/3. So what would be this equal to? 0 because x cubed did not alter the distribution. ما تغير x cubed is بالنسبه لحالها. فاذا عندنا ارقام غير الماينس 1 إذا عندنا minus 2 هيتغير. Okay, so a function of random variable, this is the way we calculate. Let's have an example and then take it step. Right. Now we have a voltage that looks like Rayleigh distribution. Rayleigh distribution of the curve looks like this. It's exponential of x minus a. A here is where it starts. Divided by b, very similar to the exponential, like if you had a square here. And we have the same x minus a next to the exponential. We have exponential multiplied by a linear function. And we're interested in the power. Okay, the power. So basically the voltage here has a equals 0 and b equal 5. So just replacing a with 0, we get here nothing. No, b directly. So this is the expected. This is the EDF of the voltage, and we have divided by 5. B equal. So this is how it looks in mathematics. We are interested in finding the average power. أنا ما أبغى أدخل في تفاصيل إيش الديستريبيوشن حق الباور. هنتكلم عنه بعدين اللي تعتبر transformation. Here we are only interested in the average power. So I just apply this expected value of v squared. I just take v squared, put it inside. So let me just write the first step here. This is equal to expected value from minus infinity to infinity of v squared f v v dv. So basically, whatever inside here, we put it next to the v. So we have, when we put v squared, and we have here v already, so we have v cubed. A to minus v squared. Again, how to solve it? By part. We'll give you this. We are not examining you here on pi part. We are going to give you 315. So any complicated expression will be given to you in the exam in general. And if you calculate it, we'll give you 5. However, the whole idea here is how to calculate it. This is this one. So what we have done today is we define the expectation and we relate it to, we define the expectation of the expected value, and we talked about the average, and the expected value equals average, and we found how to calculate it using high school methods for the state, and then how to calculate it using EEP methods for the state, and then we generalize for the methods. We have taken several examples, as you can see. We have done several discrete and continuous examples. Up to the day is the exam. The next is basically we want to. Yeah, so up to here. So next class, the first 10 minutes will be included. So conditional expectation will be included. Any question? Then get ready for your exam, for your question.